What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Today, I'm talking about Crazy Rich Asians, new movie out, lot of kind of weight to it for the Asian community. There's a lot of people. David Chen, host of the Slash Filmcast, is one of many people renting out theaters in support of this movie. It's like a full Asian cast, Asian directors, writers, pretty much. And I think they're all Chinese actors except for a couple are different, like maybe Korean, maybe Japanese. I don't know. But it's a new romantic comedy out. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a comedy. I would say it's definitely more of like a romantic dramedy, not drama in a way. I guess it's a romantic comedy. But I would say the funniest part of this movie was Aquafina. Never heard of her. She was a guest on Bobby Lee's podcast, Tiger Belly. I think he's had a few of the people that from this movie on there, and she was one of them. That's the first I had heard of her. Then there was a documentary, I believe, on Netflix about following like 4 or 5 up and coming Asian hip hop artists, which was interesting as fuck. In which she was part of that because she had done a song, like a comedy hip hop song, and she kind of got popular for that. Then she was in Ocean's 8. Now she's in this. I think she's fucking hilarious. She's by far the best part of this movie, but overall it's a solid movie. Like I wasn't looking forward to this movie. I seen the promotion for this movie in front of almost every single movie that I've gone to this past year. Seem to have, if not the trailer and a little promo, pre-trailer promo in the theater. And so in a way, very sick, very happy this movie came out because I'm tired of seeing the promos for it, tired of seeing the trailer. The reason why I went, other than Movie Pass, I'm still able to see up until I think a couple more weeks. Movie Pass, I can do 3 a month, 3 movies a month. So I'm still in the unlimited part. So took advantage of it, went and saw Crazy Rich Asians, mainly because of this movement to try and get more diversity in movies, having more diversity in people who make movies and write movies and who star in movies, which I'm definitely a fan of. Black Panther being a cultural event that was very much in that same vein. This movie, however, is not a comic book movie. It is a romantic comedy, so I don't really see it's done well. Apparently, it's done really well, which is very good. But I would imagine it's going to take more than this. Maybe not. I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. You know, you see, like Get Out is very much a very unique voice, and I'm all about unique voices, man, because I'm tired of remakes and reboots and all the bullshit that comes out, and I would rather see original stories from an original perspective any day. So this movie, I mean, aside from the visuals and, you know, maybe some of the family structure, this is very much like a lot of romantic comedies where you've got poor character falling in love with rich character unbeknownst to them. They didn't know they were rich, but they fell in love, and now this character finds out that the person that they love has all this wealth or comes from money. So it's kind of a very standard kind of or not necessarily standard, but very classic kind of a plot for a romantic comedy. In which case, this one, it's the female character is the poor. She comes from her mom's an immigrant, came from China. her mom, I forget which business, but she started her own business and became kind of like a self-made woman. And then she is successful. She's a college professor teaching like economics. And then his family, the dude that's rich, the crazy rich Asians, like did all the development for like Singapore. And they like they're like the Trumps of Asia. Except for not racist. Didn't seem to be, I mean, fucked up. They still have fucked up. I mean, it also deals with kind of, the struggle from the rich family members and judging the poor. So it's like it's very much all the different tropes that you would find in that kind of a story. But other than that, it was great. The acting was great. If you're going to, you can definitely tell you're at a movie made for women, or it's okay for families, because you get to see dudes with, just ripped up dudes with their muscly fronts, like it's almost like the female version of Entourage. Like in Entourage, you get to see half naked women throughout an episode, and it's looked down upon because you're a man and you shouldn't be attracted to women. And then this one, it's weird because it's been a while since I've been to this kind of a movie, seen this kind of a movie, and it's weird, kind of the nipple gazing, as it were, for the male character. There was a lot of dudes, a lot of sexy dudes with their shirt off, which I don't have a problem with. I'm all for equality. Everybody, there should be naked dudes, naked women. I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying that there's no like term for that, for the other side. I'm not just being a cry, whatever. It's a good movie. Go watch it. Crazy Rich Asians. The titles turn off. The trailers. It's a fun movie. It's 2 hours, but it packs in a lot. It paced well. I never felt bored. I was super fucking surprised going to see this movie. I had feels. I had emotions. I was choked up. Just at the history of like, not the history of the movie, but the history that could potentially change with having more voices creating artwork in Hollywood if this movie does well. So it's like I wanted it to do well. I was rooting for it, especially because I was there to see it. And, it's 2 hours of my life, and 2 hours of a bad movie is just horrible. Horrible. But I was pleasantly surprised. Go watch it. Take a date. Go with your family. Go by yourself like I did. Be a man. Go to the movie theater by yourself. Be a woman. Be an independent person. Go to the movie theater by yourself. Get yourself a little ticket. Get yourself some concessions if you want to support that movie theater. And then go see this movie. Go support this movie. Why not? If you want to go, how about this? Let's say you want to go see Mile 22, right? But you kind of wouldn't mind supporting this movie. You just don't necessarily want to see it. Go buy a ticket for this movie. Go sneak into Mile 22. Do it. I don't know. That's it, everybody. Go to my website, inspireddisorder.com. That's where you can check out all my artwork, photoshops, podcasts. If you want behind the scenes, making of content, watch this show the whole week as it comes out, before it comes out, I should say. You can do that over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Get making of videos of the artwork I do, photoshops I do, all that. All the links are up top, everybody. I'm Ray Taylor. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. Peace out!
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So Instagram has this new feature. It's not that new, but on stories, you can ask questions. People can send you questions, and then you can answer them. You respond to them, and it keeps them anonymous. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm doing that, but instead of answering them on my stories, I'm going to answer them in an episode right now. And I'm going to do this. I want to make this a weekly thing, or as often as possible. Maybe every other week. I don't know. I mean, I'm doing these every day. I got to do an episode every day, and I have to think of things to talk about in every episode, which is a challenge that I knew I'd be getting into doing this. But, I'll just have to get good at coming up with. It's fine. I'll get better. I'll get better. Don't worry though. I've got this week planned out, but today's episode, that's not a question, by the way. That's just me warming up to explain shit that you're not even asking. I got 3 submissions. I may have gotten one and I didn't even check before I started recording. But whatever. I'll save it for next week if you ask the question. I got 3. I'm not going to say who on Instagram sent me this. I'm not going to say if it's a man or woman or a bot account. Okay? I'm just going to answer these questions. All right? And I'm starting off with the most asked questions. This was asked literally twice by the same person. I didn't answer fast enough. I don't know if they understood that I'm doing this on an episode. And if I do them, I want it to come out every Tuesday. That way it's the beginning of the week for everybody. Don't have to wait till the end of the week. But anyway, so first question. Pancakes or waffles? Right? Pretty simple question. I'm not a big breakfast person. I usually don't have much of an appetite in the morning. There's been times where it's like I've planned a day where I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to go out to eat, for breakfast. I'm going to get some coffee, some orange juice. I always think of I'm going to get a stack of pancakes. I usually don't. If I go out to eat breakfast and I get something, like I go to a Denny's, I might get a pancake. But my choice for this question, even though it sounds like I'm going with pancake, even though I just said I order pancakes when I go out, it can't be a pancake. It's a waffle. Now, I'm not a big fan of either. You're eating bread in the morning, sweet bread in the morning. I don't know. I'm not one to judge, right? I just try to avoid stuff. And it's just, the pancake, I can never finish. It's just too much. I do like a pancake with butter, put some syrup on it, get some good syrup on it, maybe some fruit. I don't mind a pancake. You can do some things with a pancake. But if I'm going between one or the other, like one that I could eat plain, I could eat waffle plain. It's got that crisp to it. I love, especially as a kid, putting the butter on it and then almost trying to make it spread in such a way that I have a very Bernie Sanders approach to butter, where I want each little divot to have an equal amount of butter, As a fat kid growing up, that is the kind of respect that I show my food, to have equal opportunities for all portions of the waffle. But a thick Belgian waffle, they're so good. Because you don't have to do that much to them. You could do a lot with a pancake, but you kind of need to do a lot with a pancake because they're kind of boring. And I know there's different kinds of pancakes. I might not even get to all the questions. No, that's it for pancakes. I'm going waffles. Pancakes, waffles, waffles. All right. Okay, next question. Do you miss me? I'm not saying who said this. But yeah, Boo, I miss you. I miss you so much. This person I spent a lot of time with back in the day. I'd see this person many times a week for many hours at a place that was pretty much destroying my soul. And I had to leave a lot of good people behind. Thankfully, I wasn't in war. I'm not in the army. That'd be highly disgraceful for leaving everyone behind in a horrible place. But I had to leave, and I I mean, truth is, I don't miss it. I miss hanging out with some of the people there for sure because of where we were. And I see you online, and I'm happy for you. I hope you're happy. Everybody's doing their own thing, and I hope everybody's happy. But on a day-to-day basis, I don't really think about you. But when I do think about you, it's because I see you on Instagram and I see, oh, look, oh, shit, gender, sorry, she, it, they. Anyway, so that's the answer to that question. Yeah, but no. And then, when are we hanging out? Last question, and okay, this one is not Leonard Garcia Parra Jr. the Third Esquire, okay? I'm not saying who this is, he, she, it. But they know. People know. I don't hang out. It's very difficult to get me to hang out. Since moving to the desert, which is crazy, it's been almost a year, I have hung out, I could probably count it on both hands. I don't even know if I need a second hand. And most of the time it's just with my roommate, and I live here, I work from home. They work from home. Well, she works from home. But I'm busy, man. I'm trying to get my shit. I'm putting this show out. I'm doing artwork. I'm trying to pick up freelance work. So if anybody needs some Photoshop work, hit me up. And then I hustle. I hustle to scrape out some money in a very inefficient way. So yeah, but it'll happen when it happens. But yeah, I'm probably historically known as somebody very difficult to hang out with. Keith knows what's up. If Keith had an Instagram, he would know that I'm very much enjoy being by myself. So, yeah, that is all. That is all for this episode where you can ask me anything. Follow me on Instagram at Ray Taylor. Check out my stories, because I will post them. I try to post them regularly where you can ask me questions, because I know some people, maybe they don't always see it, or they're shy, or they don't want to ask. But don't worry, I'm not going to tell everybody who you are. Okay, I'm going to try and be vague like I was this time. I think I did a pretty good job. Okay, so go follow me on Instagram. IGTV is where this show is at. Inspired Disorder is where all my artwork's at. All of my Photoshops are at. Everything that I've ever done. InspiredDisorder.com. Exclusive content. Making of videos for artwork and Photoshops. Discount code if you want to buy my work. Save a bunch of money. Patreon.com/InspiredDisorder. All the links are up top as they always are. Have a great week, everybody. Peace out!
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So, earlier, we got the Die Hard remake in Skyscraper with steroids injected into it, primed for global audiences. And now we get the Jaws remake pumped up with steroids, primed for global audience in The Meg, starring Jason Statham, action star extraordinaire. I am a fan of the Crank movies. It is probably some of the best video game movie. Those two movies and Hardcore Henry, the best non-video game movies that are out there. I love those two movies. Highly recommend them. Or three movies, actually. The Transporter / other movies that he's done, Expendables. He's good. He's good. He's okay. He's in Guy Ritchie movies. Was it Lock, Stock? Come on. Great. Looked interesting, giant shark. Monster movie. Maybe this will be like Kong, Skull Island, which amazing, fun monster movie. It probably the most fun I've ever had watching a monster movie. Uh, haven't seen one as good as it since. Spoilers for this fucking review. But the Meg was okay. It was like super long. Super long. The action is set up. There's just a lot of stupid people doing shit. Not the greatest writing. Some horrible acting, some horrible chemistry between Statham had like this Disney made for TV movie kind of charm to him when he was like supposedly having a romantic connection to this woman that, like, I don't know. People make bad decisions for there's just so many things that don't make this as fun. I had a lot more fun watching Skyscraper for some reason. This movie is definitely compared in a lot of ways to Skyscraper because it is very much like, tonally they're very similar, kind of these big action movies that have like crazy effects and have similar ties in a lot of ways to older, better action movies, although Jaws wasn't really action, more suspense, but still, it has that I mean, it doesn't feel like Sharknado. It felt more like Jaws, but without any of the suspense. This shark felt small at times, even though I'm sure to scale, they'd be like fucking, what's his face? The dude from Rainn Wilson. I think he's supposed to be comic relief, but I didn't find his character to be funny or good at all. As opposed to Kong Skull Island, where you got John C. Reilly being amazing in that movie. Like, almost too much of a character, but still fits in that movie to where it works. And then, Rainn Wilson's just, I don't know. He wasn't really played to be the comedy relief. It didn't seem like. He wasn't funny. But it was all right. I think it's done well. I'm sure it'll kill overseas, like all of these horrible movies are, like Jurassic Park, all the new Jurassic Park movies, even though if they are setting up what I think they're setting up, I'm probably going to see the next Jurassic Park. And I think Skyscraper is doing well internationally. But yeah, The Meg, I don't know. It is kind of one of those movies where it could be fun for you because it's supposed to be fun. So maybe it'll be fun for you, and you go to a popcorn, go to the movie theater, it's hot. Go watch it on a big screen. Maybe you have a good crowd with you. They're super into it. But for whatever reason, it was okay. It wasn't horrible. But I thought Skyscraper was better. I've heard opposite opinions, but it's not even close. As far as monster movies are concerned, it's not even as close to Kong Skull Island for me. This one, it's just like, the premise is stupid. Just everything's really stupid. Like, things are just set up for things to happen, but like, they're ridiculous. It's really like a really high budgeted B movie. I guess Kong Skull Island is the same thing, but B with like a polish to it. This one's more of a cash grab kind of a B movie. But yeah. So that's it. I don't have anything else to say about this movie. It was okay. Go watch it if you want. Throw it on if it gets on a streaming. It's one of those movies where you can dip in and out of because there are boring bad moments that are just like, I don't know. Let's throw it on. But what are you gonna do? Check out my website, inspireddisorder.com. Patreon.com/inspireddisorder if you want to get bonus content, making up videos of all of my artwork. photoshops, discount codes. Watch the full week of the Ray Taylor Show before it comes out. All that, patreon.com/inspired disorder. All the links are up top. Have a great week. Have a great day. Peace out!
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So it's been a couple weeks. UFC is back. This Saturday, Justin Gaethje versus James Vick, UFC from Lincoln, Nebraska. It's a fight night. The card is, it's all right. There's definitely some decent matchups in the card. So some exciting fights. The headlining fight, Justin Gaethje, is always exciting. It'll be interesting to see if James Vick goes in like Poirier and Eddie Alvarez did, and kind of still, you're going to have to weather the storm and those fucking leg kicks. And who knows, maybe he'll throw his wrestling into there. Apparently he's a good wrestler, but just likes to stand and bang. He knows he's down to his last few fights for the most part, especially the way he knows how he fights, Justin Gaethje. Very much like a what's his name? I can't. He's like on the tip. Ultimate Fighter 1. He fought Anderson Silva and got destroyed in Anderson Silva's debut. It's in San Diego. Fucking, my brain's not getting there. But, yeah. Michael Johnson's, even though he's on a losing streak, always dangerous against Andre Fili. So this is definitely an opportunity for Fili to take advantage of maybe Johnson, who, he's looked great. He's just had, extremely tough. The weight division in the... that's featherweight. Yeah, the featherweight division's pretty stacked too. But I was thinking that was lightweight for some reason. Or maybe this is Michael Johnson going down to featherweight. That could be the situation, which would be ridiculous. That guy looked cut against, everybody. But yeah, he was just fighting lightweight. Crazy. So maybe he's going down to... So that's interesting. We'll see if he makes weight. Angela Hill versus Courtney Casey. Just two solid competitors, just in a state where they can, rise. I think a lot of people it feels like everybody's coming off a loss, but maybe not. Angela Hill, I think she's done okay since she came back into the UFC from Invicta. Courtney Casey, up and coming, young fighter, looking good every fight, looking better. Then you have Jake Ellenberger versus Barberina, Brian Barberina. Ellenberger's got to be close to the end of his career. He's like so many of those fighters from that generation. There's so few of them that are still in it. But, we'll see. I would go with Barberina. If I'm making picks, I'm thinking Gaethje's going to win. I just think he's going to turn it around. He might incorporate takedowns at the end of the round just to, or something. I don't know. He's tough to win against. Then Johnson versus Fili. I got Johnson. I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to look good. He's always dangerous. And I don't think Fili can handle him on his feet. Casey versus Hill. I'll go with Hill. I don't know why. Just I enjoy her Street Fighter intros. Weights or weigh-ins. I don't know if she does those still. Barberina versus Ellenberger. I got Barberina. Just, I don't know. John Moraga versus... I don't even know who that is. Davison Figueroa. I got Moraga for sure. Then there's also... Let's see, Mickey Gall's fighting George Sullivan. I got Mickey Gall. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. He hasn't been in the UFC in a while since he lost to I forget the dude's name, but he just had a loss. And apparently he's been trying to get on cards, but they haven't given him any cards, according to whatever he said on whatever podcast. I think he was on Danish and O'Neill recently. So it'll be interesting to see how much he's grown, because he's a young fighter. He's only got like one or two amateur fight, and then 3 fights in the octagon, and then 1 outside of the octagon. He's handling it well. I think he's more prepared than Sage, but Sage's looked, from his last fight to his fights prior, he had a huge jump, I think, with how he's looked. He's definitely made improvements. He's definitely helped out the holes that he's had. And Mickey's been training to tighten up his striking holes, the stand-up, improve that, because he's, clearly an established grappler. But Green, in a lot of ways, nonetheless, handling it well. I want him to win. I hope he wins. But yeah. Joanne Calderwood on the Fight Pass prelims. I got her. She's kind of up and down, but I think she's been a TriStar for a while now. I think she's getting things dialed in. I think she's at a weight class that helps her out now. Because she was kind of the in-betweener. So the 125, I think, is going to help her out. So that's coming up, that fight. I'm looking forward to it. I'll talk about it, recap it next week, because I think there's a week off before another fight. So I'll do that next week. And, yeah. I think that's about it, everybody. I was going to talk about other stuff, but that was enough for UFC talk for this episode. Check all my work out, inspireddisorder.com. Links up top. If you want exclusive content like making up videos for my artwork and photoshops, if you want to watch this show in advance before it gets released on IGTV, go sign up, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Get bonus content. All the links are up top. Everybody, have a great day. Have a great week. Peace out.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So I went and saw Mile 22, a movie that I didn't really know too much about. I think they were promoted on one of the more recent UFCs. I think mainly because one of the, aside from Mark Wahlberg and, Ronda Rousey's in it. So I could see the UFC. I mean, it's an action movie too. Wahlberg, clearly. It's a Peter Berg joint. Peter Berg movie. So like, I kind of knew going in, I guess, what to expect. I enjoyed Sniper. That was a Lone Survivor, I think, was also a Mark Wahlberg, Peter Berg matchup. I was interested to see Ronda Rousey's acting now that she's not fighting and she is doing the WWE, which I am not a fan of. I've tried. I've given it honest attempts to get into it. I even tried to watch the Netflix show Glow, and it's just, I get people enjoy it. I'm not into the same shit everybody else is into. Not everybody is into the same shit I'm into. So don't get too emotional with my opinion of WWE being unwatchable for me. So Ronda Rousey's doing that, which is fine. Good for her. Her career was clearly done in MMA. It was sad to see how she exited MMA. I thought her speech when she was given the Hall of Fame at the UFC this past summer I thought her speech was great, gave me feels. So maybe now that she's not fighting, not training, she's able to work more on her acting. And in this movie, she was clearly they were like, Rhonda, here's a role. You're going to be super sympathetic. We're going to try and build you up. The audience is going to love you. And then, they're going to feel for you, let's just say. Spoilers. Well, let me just say, this movie wasn't that great. It was a decent action movie. Like, going into it, it's like, okay, I know I'm not going to watch amazingness. I was just curious to know. I kind of know where Wahlberg's going to be at performance-wise in one of these movies. It was just kind of annoying. There's like this rubber band to wrist snapping thing that Wahlberg does throughout the movie that Berg like edits in. Like, didn't seem to be in any kind of rhyme or reason necessarily. These snaps of the rubber band, it didn't seem to like build up to anything. It just seemed to be random throughout. And if it was, I'm just too stupid to get it. I'm sorry. It's like the DC movies. I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. But I didn't like it. I didn't like that aspect of it. Rhonda was fine, interesting. I mean, it wasn't like a big acting demanding, but it was clearly like there were scenes in this movie to make her feel sympathetic. And she is it's easy to sympathize with her because she's good looking. She's kind of got like that adorable girl next door kind of look, but also badass. So she has like that charm, that little smirk that she has. So I wish her well. I want her to do well. I don't want her to be not successful. It's a very big bummer the way she ended the thing that kind of propelled her to stardom, how it ended in the UFC. But with all that said, this movie, kind of sad that this was the movie she's in, but still I think I could see her getting offered other movies or even working more with Peter Berg because he does good stuff sometimes, And Mark Wahlberg, same thing. He's got a pretty decent. He's pretty decent. He's not really horrible. Sometimes he's in bad movies, but for the most part, every once in a while he's in a really good movie. Every once in a while, but then there's a lot of he's getting paid. Let's put it that way. He's balling. But Mile 22, so it's the kind of the premise of it. Mile 22, it took a while. Like I didn't even like I'm in the back of your head going into a movie, you kind of wonder where the name comes from or if they're going to say it in the movie. And Mile 22 is they have to take this person that's very important and they have to get him out of the area that he's in and get him to the airport so they can, get this code to the thing. But it's very much that kind of movie. Bruce Willis did one with Mos Def, I think, Precinct 26 or something. I don't know. I forget which that. Google them and movies, and I'm sure they've only been in one together. And then there was like, what's another one? There's so many in action movies. It's like a very common premise of like we have to take this thing. Black Hawk Down in a lot of ways. It's like they were trying to get in to save somebody. So it's like this 22-mile stretch between where they are with this person and where they need to take him. And, good fight scenes. The Iko Uwasa. No, that's not his fucking name. Who's the shit. Oh, it is. Iko Uwasa. Uwais? He was great, man. I don't know if he's been in other stuff. I'm sure he has. It seems like The Raid. Okay. The Raid, Star Wars. All right. He's in a bunch of... He's great. He's great in this. It's a fun action movie. The story is stupid. The ending is stupid. Like the whole time you think it's like, I don't know. I give it away. I give it away now, right? No. Go see it if you're into action movies. Go see Mile 22. It's whatever. It's not like you got to see this movie. Like if you miss it in theaters and it's somewhere, throw it on if you're into action movies, whatever. It's not horrible, but it's not great. As far as like movies that MMA fighters are in, or ex-MMA fighters, or current MMA fighters. Den of Thieves is a movie I've seen whenever it was out in theaters because Max Holloway is in it. Very small part in it, which is good. I want him to focus on fighting and staying healthy. But so in the same way, I went and saw Ronda Rousey to see how it is. I saw Tyron Woodley in the Escape 2. Horrible. Those horrible. Horrible. There's yet to be a good actor, MMA fighter, current or past, that's like, oh, they're like a good actor. Like all of them, if acting was MMA, they would not even be like amateur. They're at the amateur circuit, you know? And some of them don't have good records. So that's where I stand on MMA fighters and acting. But yeah, it's a decent movie. It's a fun movie. It's same distributor as so many action movies that have come out recently. So I'm sure they're killing it. It's probably some Asian, some Chinese film company. So they're killing it. This one I enjoyed. Not the greatest, but whatever. It is what it is. So that's it, everybody. Go to my website, inspireddisorder.com. Check out all my artwork, Photoshops, past podcasts that I've done, everything I've done. Links are up top. If you want making of videos for my artwork and Photoshops, as well as opportunities to watch the full week of this show before it comes out, go over to patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Become a member. Get that and more. Check it out. Links are up top. Have a great day. Have a great week. Peace out.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So I was a fan of Fight Club when it first came out in theaters. I was working at the movie theater, and I don't even know. I don't think I had read any of Chuck Palahniuk's books yet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but that's what I'm going with. But I watched the movie. I had no idea what it was. This Brad Pitt, Edward Norton movie. You know, I was a fan of Brad Pitt at the time, fan of Edward Norton at the time, Primal Fear. Amazing movie. And this movie was coming out by David Fincher, which I don't even know if he had done anything that I was a big fan of yet. Watched the movie, fell in love with the movie, and like everybody did from, you know, my age range. I don't know if that's considered millennials or pre-millennials or whatever that's called. So when Fight Club 2 came out, I was interested because I had gotten into his books. I had never been able to actually read Fight Club because I'd watched the movie so many times, and the book and the movie are not similar as far as things happen in the book that don't happen in the movie, and timeline-wise, it's different. So I could probably read it now because I haven't watched the movie as regularly as I did. I was it was DVDs were big. I watched the commentary. I was huge. I'm surprised I don't have I was going to get a quote as a tattoo multiple times in my life. But has never been able to read the book. I read all of his other books. Not all of them, but I've read a lot of them. I kind of fell off. I never read Pygmy. I think Rant and I think Pygmy were two that I never finished. I got halfway through Snuff, which is a very interesting kind of premise for a book. I was reading this. I would go to a park before work, and many years ago, probably like 10 years ago, it was probably close to 2008, and I was reading the new book by Chuck Palahniuk, Snuff, and while I was at the park reading this book, these two girls who are the kind of religion where you go around and you try and sell your religion to people. You're like, hey, let me talk to you and let me tell you about my religion. And so I don't know what that is. Seventh-day, Jehovah's Witness, Mormon. I don't know what flavor of it was, but they were disciples of the Lord coming to save me as I read my book. Inside of my truck, I would, in a pickup truck, just sit there and just read. It was, I don't know, it was nice. It was a small park. It was very small. Call it a park is sad. But it was close to where I worked. Anyway, they came up and asked what I was reading, and I was reading Snuff, and I told them the premise is it's a story about a gangbang, and it's told from the perspective of like 3 or 4 different dudes that are waiting in line to wait their turn to fuck a chick. I I enjoyed being able to tell them that. I don't know how it hit them in their brains. They just, had their, brainwashed smiles like, "Oh, okay. Okay, we're going to go." And they just kind of left. I don't know. It's completely different. Like, I could have been a scandal. They could have called the cops on me for like lewd conduct in a park because I told them the premise of Snuff. And I don't know if I ever finished that book. I was just, jacking off at a park. It just wasn't going to work anymore. I wasn't jacking off. I'm joking. Stop. But I read like Choke, Survivor, Lullaby. So many of them. I enjoyed them. And so when the sequel to Fight Club came out in comic book form, I was like, had never been into comic books, and it wasn't until Denver, a few years after I had heard that this comic book was coming out, and I think it had just come out in the hardcover form where it's all together in one book. But in Denver, while doing the Inspired Disorder podcast with Keith Spurlock, we got into reviewing and reading comic books. So I picked up the first issue of Fight Club 2, read it, and it was interesting. It basically, Edward Norton's character, who goes by Sebastian now, is like 10 years in the future. He's married to Marla Singer. They have a kid, but Marla still wishes for the days when Sebastian was off his meds, which he's on meds now, which they do a kind of an interesting thing in the comic book where the things like almost just photorealistic things like pills and pedals will actually obscure the things that are going on in the comic, and it kind of gives it another layer of like, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of layers to this onion of a story. So I read the first one. I got the whole book. I ordered it. I don't think it came out right away, but when it came out, I ordered it, and I'd never gotten around to reading it. I think it's just for the show, for the Inspired Disorder podcast, I don't think it never got into the rotation. And then I ended up moving back to California from Denver. So I dug it out of storage a while back, and I finally read it. And it's tough. I think I should have read the first book because I think it is more relatable to the book than it is to the movie. And it goes so far as to it's very meta. Like, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. If it's a spoiler, I don't know. Chuck Palahniuk is in it as himself at like a writing session or brainstorming session or whatever, the writing club. And writing club, because there's clubs. It's very meta. It's a weird world post Fight Club. It's referential to the first one, and it literally goes into the review of Fight Club 2 is in Fight Club 2, where just hordes of people are angry about it, which at that point in the story, I wasn't excited. I was like, okay, I really feel like I probably should have read the book. And then he even brings it up that you should have read the book. And then I think maybe he actually goes back to parts of Fight Club 1 and explains them for people to kind of fill them in on everything. But I think contextually it's all thrown off. So it's really weird. It goes super meta and super self-referential. So if you have read Fight Club 1, you might enjoy it actually more than I did. I still enjoyed it. It makes me want to read Fight Club 1. Maybe I'll listen to the audiobook. Maybe that'll be different. But, Fight Club 2, I enjoyed the artwork. I enjoyed the story. And I miss reading Chuck Palahniuk's books. It's like, I enjoyed his characters. I enjoy kind of characters that are just really fucked up and not normal of what you would see, kind of a thing. Yeah. So anyway, Fight Club 2, the comic book series, graphic novel. Pick it up if you are, if you haven't and you are a diehard. But if you were just into the movie, this might not be enjoyable. There's other comic book series. I'm gonna dig some comics out of storage and talk about them, which I haven't yet. Because I did find a love for reading comic books because you can read them so fast. And the artwork is amazing in a lot of them. And there's a lot of stories that aren't about superheroes, which I enjoy the most. So that's it for this episode, everybody. Go to my website, inspireddisorder.com, for all my artwork, photoshops, podcasts, everything I've ever done. inspireddisorder.com. Go see making of videos for my artwork, photoshops. You get to watch this show the full week, all 7 days at once before it comes out to IGTV when you're a member over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Get a bunch of bonus content, making of videos, and so much more. Check it out. All the links are up top. Have a great day. Have a great week. Peace out.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? I'm talking about my artwork that I put on Instagram every day. The many faces, new face I release every day. Same as this show. Every day I put out a new show on IGTV. Every day there's a new face on my Instagram feed. And the series is my first series ever. It's Ink on Paper, abstract portrait series. I sell strictly through my website. So if you want to go to inspireddisorder.com, links are up top. That's where you would go to buy them. If you want to watch making of videos, you can go to patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Now that those plugs are out of the way, all the links are up top. I'll probably mention them at the end. The series started probably 3 years ago when I was in the process of moving from San Diego to Denver and, got rid of most of the things I owned. Kept art supplies though, but while I was moving, I wanted to keep things lightweight. I was staying with friends, same people I'm living with now, staying with them in between transitioning from San Diego to Denver, and I was just doing regular drawings in my sketchbook. And I had done a lot of surrealism in the past, a lot of Salvador Dali influenced acrylic paintings that I've done, and although enjoying creating those, I wanted to kind of step away and create something different for myself and create something from scratch as far as just kind of, I've always loved making art fast. Like even with acrylic painting, I would a lot of times have to use a blow dryer to dry the paint, which in the desert, which shit dries fast already, it just wouldn't dry fast enough for me. And I'd blend and stuff like that, but I do things fast. I enjoy doing things fast. Very much like athletes in the zone. When I played basketball, being in the zone, there's very much a tunnel vision when you're creating something fast, when you're at speed. So I wanted to kind of explore that side of making art for me, since it's the most enjoyable. And with acrylic painting, it's limited. Like I enjoy, the thing I love about painting with ink is that I'm able to control it. I'm able to play around in the wet areas. I'm able to take advantage of the dry areas and all the combinations in between. But I'm able to do it in a way it's really fast. So I don't have to sit and think about it too much. So each face is new. It started off as drawings with just like a pen or a fine tip marker in a sketchbook. And then later in Denver, I wanted to start releasing artwork on a regular basis. I wanted to create artwork on a regular basis because that was something that I wasn't able to do in Denver as much as I wanted to. Focused too much on producing Inspired Disorder podcasts and all of the different segments, and yeah, that was the whole focus. That was the main focus anyway. But I wanted to start doing artwork on a regular basis again, and just kind of build up my portfolio, because all the art shows that I had done, I'm selling like old artwork, and it's like I felt like I've moved past it for a long time. I just hadn't been able to create it, and now I'm creating it. And it started off with like a lot of marker, and then I got into actually painting with the ink, using better quality paper. So it's a series that if you go back, I've done over 500 now. If you go back, you can see the early days, and you can see the evolution. There's a lot of different sizes, so a lot of huge different price range if you're looking to collect my art. And of course, if you're a Patreon member, if you're a member of my Patreon, patreon.com/Inspired Disorder, Patreon, you get a massive discount code to help save if you're looking to collect my art and save some money. But yeah, so that's it. So that's, and through my Squarespace site, I post them up every day. I usually do them in bulk. I like to do like a full sketchbook, 24, 30 pages. I like to try and do a full one in a day, and I record every single one of them. Every once in a while I'll forget, but it's really rare. I think I've only forgotten to record one full one, and then there's some where I started recording a little late. But for the most part, I've recorded the making of every single one. So if you do buy them, you get to also watch it be made. Yeah, so I try and do a huge chunk in a day, or split them up over 2 days, because usually if I do, so let's say I'll take a day and I'll do like 30. So then I have to process and prep all the artwork. So I have to photograph it. I have to edit all the video. I have to upload everything in the video, different portions of the video, the promo versions, the story, IG story. Everything gets edited, shoot all the artwork, prep all the photos, get everything scheduled on the website. That takes like a full day. So it's like a 2-day process, but then I'm good for a month. Which is pretty easy, I guess. Sometimes I do it sporadically. This is the first time I've ever had kind of a buffer while doing it. But through the website, it just gets scheduled, and then every day I have to manually do everything that you see on Instagram, which is kind of fine because it's the only I don't really post anything anywhere else. Instagram is my main focus, and I just produce all of my content is for Instagram. So, I mean, it just makes sense considering what I do and what the features they're adding. I mean, as soon as they added Instagram TV, and I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as podcasting and creating like video content, that made sense, especially since it's 10 minutes, which is weird because early YouTube was 10 minutes, and the Billy Dallas Show, which is the first podcast I ever did, I remember stopped not doing because I hated editing. Now I just do 10 minutes, unless it's a 2-parter, but only one 2-parter so far. So, yeah. I went far past talking about the many faces. I don't know if there's anything. I'm enjoying the evolution. I just got some new brushes that I'm sure you've seen, and some new ink that's allowed me to do different things. Eventually, I would like to start adding color. I know it's been recommended, but I'm really just trying to explore as much as I can and push as much as I can within the restrictions of just a few brushes, just basic black. I have black ink, and then I have a wash that changes in density and amount, and it's a fun process. I enjoy it. I enjoying making art. Hopefully I'll be able to do it and pay more bills from doing it. But it's really, I'm enjoying everything that I'm doing through Instagram because it all makes sense and it all ties together, and it feels even more comfortable than anything else that I've done. and just makes more sense. So I hope you all enjoy it. And if you do, go check out my artwork, inspireddisorder.com. You can see my old artwork there too. I have done some other making of videos. I used to do a live drawing on a giant chalkboard. Did a few episodes of those. I've done a lot of stuff over the years, people. InspiredDisorder.com up top. Patreon.com/InspiredDisorder if you want to support me with a monthly donation while getting a bunch of bonus content like making of videos and exclusive benefits and all kinds of other stuff. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week. Peace out.